At the risk of starting a graphic design war, today we're going to be looking at gradients in logo design and if they're useful or not, and what kind of problems you might encounter when using gradients for your logo designs. What is up people, it's Tom with Satori Graphics, back again with another graphic design tips video. Today we're looking at gradients in logo design and if they're useful or not for you to use for your logo designs. Also, Movavi is sponsoring today's video, which is a video editing software, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to use Movavi later in today's video. Now this is a topic that can cause a huge amount of division. I'm not sure why, because if you do actually understand gradients and how they're using a logo design, you'll understand they have a time and a place, and you will not fall into one extreme of the two differing opinions. Now in more recent years, logo design has moved more towards flat and bold colours. That seems to be the trend at the moment. And it's quite interesting because in today's world, printing technology has improved a lot, and there's no better time to use gradients in your designs than now. But the use of gradients in logo design has dropped off as printing technology has gone up, which is quite funny I find. Logo designs used to be literally branded symbols or stamps, hence the term branding, as in branding into cow skin as farmers often do. Back then, the printing technology was very crude indeed, and to print a gradient was very difficult and often resulted in banded areas across the entire gradient. Now of course, if you're designing a logo, you want to keep in mind where the logo is going to be used. What if that company that you're designing the logo for really hits it big time and they need the logo on, say, some embroidery design or carved into stone marble? You can't exactly carve a gradient into stone marble, and if you can then you must be some kind of wizard or something. So what do you do if you want to use a gradient on your logo design? What are the solutions? Well, first and foremost, the most important thing to do is to create two versions of the logo design. Now this is quite common if you look closely at brands existing today. You should always start by creating the flat, bold logo design, and then create a version with the gradient as well. Explain this to the client, and explain why you're doing this. You should always explain to your clients why you're doing something, so that they have trust in what you're doing, and they don't make errors when using their logo for their business. So like for example, if you look at BMW, they have a really flat logo design, which you see on their cars, because you can't really print a gradient onto a symbol on a car. But you're also going to see their logo in a gradient version on print media. So yeah, always have two versions of the logo if you're going to use a gradient. The second thing you can do if you want to use a gradient for your logo design is to make sure the gradient is relevant to the brand or the client. If the area of business that they operate in doesn't really relate to a gradient design, don't use it for the sake of it. Everything in your logo design needs to be relevant to the brand and the client. And lastly, if you're going to use a gradient on the logo design, make sure it looks professional. You don't want it to be too overpowering, and you don't want the focal point of the logo to be the gradient. The main pull or the main grab of the logo design shouldn't be your rainbow gradient across the entire design. So yeah, gradients do have their time and their place, but you need to be really careful when choosing the gradient. Also, if you do use a gradient on the logo, make sure you test print it before sending it to the client, so there's no banding issues on the printer. Also, you do want to explain to the client that they need to test print their logo as well. Now I'm going to show you Movavi Video Editor, who are sponsoring today's video. It's a really cool way to edit your videos in an easy to use manner. There's a link in the description below if you want to check out Movavi and download it for yourself. So right off the bat, you'll notice how user-friendly the user face for Movavi actually is. At the bottom you can see your video size as well as the frame rate, something you can actually adjust when making a new project. To add media such as images or video to your project, simply click the Add Media icon here. And just like that, I've imported some video into my project. I can now go ahead and improve the quality of my clip by adjusting the brightness, white balance and so much more in these settings here. There are so many effects you can add with ease to your clips. Simply click one and then drag and drop it onto your clip. If you don't like it, press Command or Ctrl Z to move back a step and then try another one. When exporting your projects, Movavi offers a wide range of video popular formats such as MP4 and AVI. There are also many options for you to adjust and play around with, as well as advanced options. You don't only have to import videos, however. You can also make a slideshow with images, or you can use images in combination with video. Movavi also has a great collection of fades and transitions. So select a transition and drag and drop it in between an image and another section of your project. Drag the slider back and then hit spacebar to view how it looks. You can double click the transition to adjust things such as duration and other settings. So try out Movavi for yourself today, view the link in the description below, and create an awesome project for yourself. I hope you enjoyed today's video on gradients within logo design, and if you did, let me know in the comment section below, and subscribe to Satori Graphics for weekly graphic design content. Until next time, design your future today. Peace.